He's got to do something with. It looks like they're both pretty low now on Mutalisks. I can't really see. Oh, the Scourge is coming out just in time. Wow, ZerO's Mutalisks are taking a lot of shots. It's really
been such good Scourge micro from both players. I was really surprised. Both of these guys are just totally on top of their game. Great play from both here, and this is really one of the first dead even Zerg versus Zergs, but I think ZerO has the advantage at this point. Even though sAviOr had the earlier 12 hatch, ZerO was able to produce extra drones because of his overpool build, and he didn't produce as many Zerglings as sAviOr did, and I believe he snuck maybe 3 or 4 drones in there, and sAviOr just didn't kill any drones with a Zergling attack. And now, see, ZerO is able to produce Mutalisks, pure Mutalisks, whereas sAviOr has to produce a combination of Mutalisks and Scourge, as well as produce Zerglings. Nice micro there from ZerO, picking off the Scourge. sAviOr getting lots of hits off on the Mutalisks though, but sAviOr hasn't landed any of his Scourge yet. ZerO running away, and sAviOr actually drones popping out of that, so sAviOr is going to be in a desperate situation here. He doesn't have any Mutalisks hatching. I think that was kind of a poor decision to build drones there. He took a big risk, and he's losing the drones already to that one Zergling. This is looking terrible for sAviOr. And I think ZerO is going to take a 1-0 lead in this series, and sAviOr now producing only Scourge. I'm not sure, maybe the 1 or 2 drones really set sAviOr off balance there with his Mutalisks, but he just seemed like he didn't have constant Mutalisks production the whole game. He didn't have enough drones, where ZerO, and GG from sAviOr, so ZerO winning the first game. It just seemed like ZerO had a much stronger build order, especially for destination. I think that sAviOr actually produced 100% of his larvae into drones and produced pure Zerglings, while ZerO snuck a few drones out that we didn't notice. And although it didn't make too much of a difference in the beginning game, in the late game, sAviOr was forced to attack through the bridges into ZerO's Lings and Mutalisks, and he really kind of threw away that advantage. And even though at the beginning it didn't seem like ZerO was ahead, ZerO just kept producing Mutalisks, while sAviOr had to produce a strange mix of drones and Scourge. So really good decision making there from ZerO, and I can't imagine that was really a build order win, even though he opened up better. I think sAviOr did have the lead there for that game. And sAviOr's control was just excellent.
I have to disagree with you. I want to put this out there.
I don't know.
I think a 12 hatch is an advantage over an overpool. I mean, 12 hatch is stronger economically. I mean, you're slightly behind in gas, so your Mutalisks are going to be a little later, but I mean, you're ahead economically. I mean,
ZerO went for the overpool. sAviOr went for the 12.
Yeah, ZerO went for the overpool.
That's why I say
I think sAviOr had the advantage. Yeah, but I think earlier we were saying that he had some kind of advantage. Well, I guess it's pointless either way. For those of you who don't know, 12 hatching is... sAviOr did start off with a better build order, but I think making all those Zerglings and then failing to really do a lot of damage with them is what hurt him. I mean, ZerO had to build a lot less Zerglings, and that was a really, it was a good move by sAviOr, but like you said before, he should have run away and tried to save some of those Zerglings as opposed to running them all in and getting them slaughtered by 5 Mutalisks. I mean, forcing him to run the drones was good, and that definitely set ZerO back, but you know, losing all those Zerglings and not killing drones, that hurt sAviOr, because for all those Zerglings that he built that ZerO didn't build, those were all drones, and I think that's probably what made the biggest difference in this game, at least as far as I can see. I think the Mutalisks battles, for the most part, turned out pretty even, and I don't think either player really got the best of each other there. So I think that's kind of what tipped the game in ZerO's favor. But
right, and you have to put yourself in sAviOr's perspective, though. I mean, think about it. ZerO opened up with an early pool. sAviOr didn't know exactly if it was a 12 hatch, or not a 12 hatch, but if it was a 9 pool or oval pool right away. But either way, sAviOr was probably really worried that he was going to lose right away to a 9 pool because he opened up with that 12 hatch. So he probably massively produced Zerglings, while ZerO, even though he maybe could have attacked with his 9 pool, or his overpool rather, and done some damage, he decided to actually use his advantage to build up drones, and I don't think sAviOr really expected that. And after sAviOr was camping outside of ZerO's base for so long, I think sAviOr realized, wait a second, ZerO isn't going to attack me, he's just building up drones at this point, and then he kind of, he didn't really panic per se, but he made his decision to attack, and I think it was a poor one. And ZerO just made a good move building up some drones, and I think that was just a smart decision. I think ZerO is kind of an inexperienced player, but he showed really solid decision making there, really good on the fly just calls, and I think that's a really good sign for ZerO. But at the same time, I really want to see sAviOr win. I'm still looking forward to a sAviOr, not a final, but that's just kind of me.
I still think he's gonna take the series. I mean, even though he's down 1-0, I think he's gonna come back and take it. But anyway, you know, let's not ramble on forever. Let's move on to the next game, and we can see what happens for ourselves. I'm also hoping sAviOr wins, so here's the sAviOr white team. Hope to win the second game. So unless you have anything more to say, let's move on. Okay,
No,
peace
I'm
out.
done. Peace.
Yep.